The Southland Harness Racing Show is proudly brought to you by the good folk at Regent Carcourt.
Welcome back. Coming up this week, we start with the Neverly Stud Sire of the Week, the Outstanding Sire and Broodmare Sire Live or Die. In our Regent Carcourt profile, we visited Invercargill's Donovan Primary School the day before New Zealand Cup Day for some Franco Ledger-fuelled Cup fever. After the break, we bring you the tips for this weekend's Invercargill Harness Club's Drivers' Day. Please note that from Sunday evening onwards, these tips will be replaced with next Tuesday's Gore Harness tips. This week's Neverly Stud Sire of the Week is Live or Die, standing this season for $3,500 plus GST. Suzanne, we're here at Donovan Primary School the day before the New Zealand Trotting Cup. Now I'm very surprised to find you at work.
Oh, well, someone has to stay home and do the work, and we're very lucky we've got really good staff, but I'm flying up tomorrow at lunchtime.
And of course you're a teacher here.
Yes, I am, yes.
How many years have you taught here for?
Oh, since 2005, so that's a wee while now. Yeah, no, it's a great place to work.
Now, how have the excitement levels been at home? I know Hamish, has probably been under a lot of pressure, not that he shows it, but with these lead-up races and the cup trial and whatnot, how's the pressure levels been at home?
Oh, well, Hamish always takes everything in a stride, and he's a great believer in, what will be, and, always very exciting to have a horse in the cup, and so, yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens.
Now, this day here today at Donovan Primary School, the children, it's all about harness racing. How did this come about?
One of our teachers, Diane Copeland, she's very, very into, harness racing, so she was the one that organised it all and got all the activities for the children. It's been really good.
So have the children in particular been interested in Franco Ledger and followed his progress?
I think they have now. They know who he is, and prior to that I'm not too sure, but certainly today they all know who he is, what his name is, and what the colours look like and what harness racing's all about, so that's a good thing for the future.
Have a look in his teeth, can you see the gap?
We did it because of Suzanne, it's a tribute to her and Hamish for having a horse qualify for the New Zealand Cup, and we said, what an exciting thing to do for Donovan, we'll have a cup day, and then it's just sort of grown from there. So every child's involved. We've all done things like sulky races, they've seen the little ponies from kids' carts, the juniors have made ears and tails like horses, we've looked on the iPads at where Christchurch is and Addington and what happens tomorrow. So it's been a great day. Oh, and made little sulkies out of pipe cleaners, everyone's got one to take home.
Now, Suzanne tells me you have an interest in harness racing as well, so this is obviously where it comes from.
A slight interest. I do like harness racing. I think it's a fantastic industry and there are some really interesting people in it, and lots of things go on behind the scenes that people don't realise, but probably through kids' carts. My son does kids' carts and that's a great organisation.
Yes, now of course we've seen your son Callum at kids' carts a number of times. He's obviously right into it.
He's passionate. He thinks he would like to do it when he leaves school for a job. That's where he thinks he sees his future.
So there was no horse background in your family though? It's just an interest that's...
Apparently my granddad was a bookie when you didn't have bookies, but so I suppose maybe it's in the genes, and I do blame myself for Callum's interest because that was his first outing as a baby. So, but other than that, no. We have been in syndicates before with a couple of horses.
Now the children look to be having so much enjoyment. What do you think's been their favourite thing?
Well, I've asked them, and it's been a mixture. It's been the real ponies here from kids' carts. It's been having a ride in the sulky and pretending to be the horse. And it's been having Steph point out all the different points of a horse, like what the body parts are called, and also all the gear that they use and what the different bits are for. So it's a real mixture.
This is fantastic because if we can get one child, even one child interested in harness racing to follow it through to the kids' carts and the cadets, it's really achieved something.
I think so. Should be good for the future.
We've just seen you out here now. What's your wee pony called?
Squirt.
And he did well, didn't he? You had a 2-lap race.
Yeah, she ran well and I'm pleased with her.
Now, Callum, you do kids' carts. We've seen you before when we went on the trip to the vet clinic. Are you really enjoying that?
Yeah, it's real fun, and I actually got $10 yesterday for driving on squirt, and I got third, so that's good.
Was that at the Wyndham races?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now look, Mum tells me too, are you really keen to get involved in harness racing when you're older?
Yeah, I like to be a driver and trainer like Hamish Hunter, so that would be cool.
And Mum tells me you get out and help Hamish sometimes in the holidays.
Yeah, if I get offered, I go and be a stable hand and help him clean out boxes and that.
And he's good to work for?
Yeah, he's a nice person, and I enjoy working with him.
Steph, it's great to see Harness Racing New Zealand getting behind a day like this, but that's what your role is really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Julie. In education, we cover more facets than just the cadet scheme now, and this is a unit that we have in schools called Harnessing Your Horsepower, and it's something we've been striving to get into schools in Otago and Southland, or the South Island pretty much. It's big in Auckland, and we're just, providing this sort of education to children around horses and horse health and horse safety and etc. And but unfortunately, too often the gambling connotations come into play, and that's what parents and teachers alike seem to think that our industry is all about, but it's not. So it's been brilliant to be able to be here today and promoting harness racing on that sport level. So.
Now,
Fantastic.
these kids here are big Franco Ledger fans, of course, with Suzanne Hunter working here. But have you been to other schools in Southland?
Yeah, we've had Wallace School and Riverton Primary School, and I think St John's Girls School has also done the Harnessing Your Horsepower program in the last 4 years. And I think the more people who hear about it, and this will be great if the teachers can go away and explain to their colleagues what they've had here today from Harness Racing New Zealand, from Kids Carts and the assistance that they've had, hopefully we'll be able to drum up a bit more business in this respect.
So anyone interested, any teachers out there interested for their school, they can just contact you?
Absolutely, contact me or Christy Hill at Harness Racing New Zealand, and we're more than happy to provide any program around your school's needs and requirements. Obviously today, big school into the 300s, and so they left the junior school out of these main activities, but they still had a ball and all got involved, and I think they all know who Franco Ledger is, so that's fantastic.
And how are the stress levels, because there was children everywhere and they're getting right into it? How are you feeling at the end of what's probably been a very long day?
I love it.
To our international notice board, brought to you courtesy of Macca Lodge and the Southland Standardbred Breeders. Leading the charge this week is Washington VC superstar I'm the Mighty Quinn. Bred by Dave Kennedy, he scored an easy victory in an $18,000 race at Gloucester Park. He has now won his last 10 in a row. Other winners for local sire Washington VC were Hokanui Ben, bred and developed by the Drummond brothers. He made it 3 wins and a second from his 4 Australian starts to date, this week in the Group 3 Bunbury Cup. Meanwhile, Lively Hero recorded his 9th win at the Gold Coast. Trotters to the fore were King of Strathfield, formerly trained by Billy Heads. He won a $40,000 Trotters final at Menangle, taking his win tally to 18 and his stakes over $160,000. Motu Young Jacob, still part owned by Tony Barron and Peter Marshall, notched up his 12th win at Melton, taking his earnings to $116,000. Meanwhile, Kenley, bred by Murray Darnhill, posted his first win in Australia at Kilmore. 5-year-old gelding Scary McCleary, bred by the Dolomite Syndicate, produced his first Australian win in a career best time of 152.3 at Menangle. Badlands Hanover gelding Mine Guy, bred by Owen Crooks, recorded win number 11 at Kalgoorlie. The McArdle pairing of mares, Mene Jacka and She's Misunderstood, posted their 4th and 1st wins respectively at Gloucester Park and Naya. Other winners featuring last week were I'm a Sea Storm, Pacific Soul, Be Watching, Chaldea, Arden Southie, I'm Hey Jude, Grey Steel and Not As We Thought. If you have a horse you would like added to our international watch list, please email the details to juliem@qtv.co.nz. Make sure you tune in at the following times to view the tips for next Tuesday's Gore Harness meeting. Sunday the 2nd of December, 11:30pm. Monday the 3rd, 7:30am, 5 and 11:30pm. And Tuesday, the day of the races, at 12:30.